You know, some people enjoy composing their own music, chord by chord, and others are happiest when they come across that one perfect song. Work is not a lot different than that. Whether you prefer building your own workflow or using a pre-made template, with Monday.com, you and the team can work in a way that's comfortable for everyone. Tap the banner to go to Monday.com and build your own amazing workflow, or find an awesome template. No judgment.
Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for All-Stars Season 5, Episode 2, titled, I'm in Love. My name is Joe Betance, and I am joined, as always, by the goddess of glamour, garbage, and gore from the Bloody Podcast Network. Please say...
Gosh, I need to have sex.
To Lauri Roggenkamp. Hello, Lauri Roggenkamp.
I just like that sheerly for the context in which he said it, which was just him trying to figure out who they should send home, and he's just like, oh, I need to have sex. Like, that's going to help him answer the question.
That's why Alexis Mateo is iconic.
Oh, I love it so much. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing very well. You know, everyone should know, if you're on the public feed, Lauri and I just talked for like half an hour, which is so funny because I felt it was just us really. It sounded a lot like us just shooting the breeze the way we talked before the show. Yeah. But I would say the negative of it is it wasn't like we were doing a whole show. We weren't like, oh, here's the next topic. It was just like literally what you and I would talk about before the mics are hot, you know? So if you guys want to really hear what that's like, go over to patreon.com/ Afterthought Media. I almost plugged yours. God forbid. Go to patreon.com/ Afterthought Media and join at the premium level to hear Lauri not realize he's on a show called The Rumor Mill, to hear me wonder why I have no friends. Oh, today's Lauri's birthday, and
yes,
a lesbian bar sent her a birthday song. It was
yep, which was a gay man song.
No, it was a lesbian anthem.
It was not a lesbian anthem. It was
a lesbian anthem, and Lauri was there to accept it from the. Lauri.
It's Raining Men.
No, it was not. All right, let's jump right into the show. This week, the queens break off into girl groups to write and choreograph a musical tribute to their man crushes. Angina announces she wants to go home, but doesn't want everyone to interpret that as her giving up. Shea Coulee wins the title of this week's top all-star, while the bottom three are Mariah, Jujubee, and India Farah. RuPaul revealed that this week's lip-sync assassin is drag icon Alyssa Edwards, and she faces off with Shea Coulee after a lip-sync battle for their legacies. Shea wins the cash prize and the opportunity to send one girl home. When she pulled the lipstick from her bra, the name read Angina. The second person to go home was season 1's Angina. Lauri Roggenkamp, name 2 things you liked about the episode and 1 thing you did not.
I loved Shea Coulee in the Maxi Challenge. I loved Shea Coulee's outfit for the runway. I thought that was great.
That was an amazing outfit.
What I didn't like was the fact that now it's basically hers to lose. So it's like an anxiety. I'm now filled with anxiety that something's going to happen. Yeah. And Shea Coulee's not going to get it. So that's sort of what I don't like, because I would rather know that it's an even playing field than know that it's somebody's to lose, because then you go, oh God, what's going to happen from now till the finale? You know?
Yeah.
So.
With me, you know, I actually thought it was a decent run-of-the-mill All-Stars episode. There's some drama. It's a decent challenge. And, you know,
I liked it.
I thought it was a good challenge. The song was good. There was a good challenge. I thought everyone did great, to be honest with you. This is one of those times where I think RuPaul wasn't lying, that they're really splitting hairs at this point, because I thought everybody did well, you know?
Yeah.
There was no one that was just awful.
I mean, you could argue that Angina shot herself in the foot. Like, in fact, hacked her foot off and then, you know, put her foot in her cut off foot in her mouth. Because she just, like, I honestly felt like if she hadn't have said anything, I don't think she would have gone home.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, I agree.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think if Angina would not have opened her mouth and kept saying how, being the martyr, I think Angina would have chosen India to go home. I think you're right.
I think Shea Coulee would have chosen. Yeah, because Shea even said, I feel like I have a loyalty to my teammates.
Yeah.
And, I think that I also sort of felt in this episode that I was like, okay, like there's a little bit of drama, but also like I feel like once you get rid of like maybe two or more queens, it's going to get pretty competitive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So
there are some very, very strong queens. The one thing I didn't like, by the way, was a lot of the bigger moments, and this was true last week, I felt a lot of the bigger moments on this episode seemed very producer-driven. That there was a producer prodding to make it happen just to, like, stir the pot, And, like, for instance, I'll give you a good example. I'll bring it up then, but there's more instances than this, but this is a very good example. Like, it just seemed really weird that the next day, sitting around the table, apropos of nothing, Cracker just said she wished that she would have taken some whiteout and written Angina's name.
Well, the only reason I say I think that it's produced. I thought maybe Jujubee's was produced. The only reason I don't think that Miss Crackers was produced was because later on she says, I shouldn't have said anything. I was thinking about it. I was harping on it and I should have just kept my mouth shut. And, even if I have a feeling that I get the feeling that Miss Cracker is one of those people who, like, if she thinks about it, she's gonna say it. You know?
I feel she's the person of the episode that we're going to talk about. And I feel it's going to be the episode. She's going to be the person for a while that we talk about. All right, Lauri, after Derek's elimination, the queens untuck and have some cocktails. Mayhem thanks the group for saving her and asks if anyone voted for her. Jujubee reveals she did, which leads to some hurt feelings and a meaningful discussion. Lauri, what were your thoughts here about right after everything that happened right after Derek's elimination?
I personally, I feel like this was produced.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they were sort of like, oh, somebody has to vote. Who voted for Mayhem Miller, and then somebody's like, well, Jujubee, you should say something, before you get called out. Because I don't see why she felt the need to say it other than just to start shit. Are
you talking about Jujubee or Mayhem?
Jujubee.
No, I don't. I'm actually very pro Jujubee on this one.
But on this flip side, so I'll say that. On the flip side, I don't agree that Mayhem Miller. I actually kind of thought less of Mayhem Miller because she started going like, "Oh, it's you voted for me. We've been friends and blah blah." It's like it's a competition, bitch. Like you're going into this, and if you don't step your pussy up, if you're not willing to meet the challenge, you might get voted off by your friends.
Yeah,
like your friendships. That's the thing I don't like about these competition shows is I feel like it relies too much on friendships and whether or not you have each other's back versus did they win that challenge? Did they do well in that challenge?
But I would say that with the exception of like All Stars 2 and a couple of instances in other episodes, RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars for the most part has been free of that. So my question is like, but Mayhem, if you remember last week, Mayhem was the one very much into alliances, was trying to make an alliance with India. We don't know what happened there. But so I think she believes very much in these personal alliances that come into the workroom. She would love to have her own Rulaska talks. I think she so desperately wants to go far and realize perhaps she's not as strong at the competition as the other girls, so needs to rely on said alliances and probably thought she could depend on Jujubee for that. What's funny, so the producer-driven part is I believe the producers were like to Mayhem, why don't you talk about You know, because it did seem very convenient that Mayhem's like, God, thank you guys all for saving me, or or like
who perchance voted?
But Jujubee answered because she knows the evidence is there. She knows that Mayhem later on will see it, so she'd rather just tell her to her face. The thing that I actually thought was really weird was because I thought Jujubee was actually brave to answer Mayhem's question, and then Mayhem went after Juju, and when Mayhem was the one that asked the question. Bitch, you asked the question. She answered honestly, and if she didn't want to know the answer, don't ask, okay? Now, what's funny is then Jujubee says it, and then apologizes, right? She stops herself, and she says, hold on, that's not an apology, right? But then she gives another note. She goes, that's not an apology. I mean, I'm sorry if you got hurt. Well, that's still a non-apology. One, that's not an apology. Two, you don't need to apologize. You voted the way you were supposed to vote, and you asked a question, and you answered it. Mayhem should be the one apologizing for being all butthurt. Do you really think Mayhem was that butthurt, Lauri, or is that just another weird thing she was doing for the drama for the show?
I think she legitimately was upset. I think you're right. I think Mayhem is relying more on the politics of the show than the actual competition in order to move her along. And I think the fact that somebody like Jujubee, a friend of hers, voted her, I think that hit her that like, oh, she's not going to be able to rely on friends to move forward. She's going to. So I think it affected her, but I don't think it necessarily was Jujubee's fault. I think it was the fact that she realized in that moment, not all my friends are going to have my back. You know, if I do a bad job in this in a competition, I might get voted off, even if it's a group of my friends. So I think that, but then again, yeah, I agree. I think she's being hypocritical because like she blanket statement agreed to India's alliance, but what happens if a friend of hers is up for elimination? Is she going to go with India or is she going to go with her friend? So I think it's a little bit hypocritical to say, oh, it's offensive that you voted against me.
Well, if you think about it, at a certain point, let's look at it from Mayhem. I think you're kind of saying the same thing is, let's say she does go far in the competition. Okay, let's say Mayhem goes far in the competition. At a certain point, you're going to be forced to make a difficult decision.
Yes.
That's what you were saying. I know. But
but I'm agreeing with you. Yeah. I think that, but I think that's the thing is like, she's not seeing that far ahead. I think Jujubee is seeing farther ahead than she is. Well, she's seeing in the moment of the competition, and it's like Jujubee is looking at the whole over like the whole thing, the whole structure. Yeah. She's saying like, look, in the competition, we are supposed to vote based off if we go by performance. And I laughed at Derek's, which to me, I think it's funny because it's like, I laughed at Derek's more than yours. And I was like, I don't think hers was meant to be laughed at. Like, I think hers was like, she wanted to do like a serious performance. And Derek's was I'm pretty sure if we watched it live, we would say that Derek should not have gone home. Like if we had seen her perform.
No, we said it last week. We said that Derek shouldn't have gone home. I don't think, and on the pit, we have another show called The Pit Crew. They don't know any of the drama. They were shocked by Derek going home.
Yeah. So yeah, I think, I don't know. I think it was a non-issue, and then it's swept under the rug. I don't know if it probably will be brought up again at some point. So
all right, here we go. The next day, Ms. Cracker reveals that she feels Angina should have gone home. Angina fights back. And then RuPaul enters the workroom to announce this week's Maxi Challenge.
For this week's Maxi Challenge, you'll be debuting the newest All-Stars smash hit, I'm in Love. Working in groups, each of you will write and record your own love-sickening verse to the celebrity man crush of your choice. Then you'll create a group look and choreography.
All right, next, Ru asks India, as the previous week's winner, to name her top two competitors. India chooses Blair and Shay and Ru. Oh, chooses Blair and Shay. Ru then assigns the three as team leaders for the Maxi Challenge. The teams broke down as follows, Lauri. India chose Jujubee and Alexis. Blair, of course, went for the white girl first and went with Ms. Cracker. Then, when there were no other white people left, she went with Mayhem. And then Team Shay was Mariah and Angina. First, before we do anything, Lauri, let's talk about your thoughts. What did you think about this whole thing with Ms. Cracker and Angina? When Ms. Cracker just walked in.
I thought Angina's response was so produced because, okay, look.
Angina's response.
Yes, let's look at it as Miss Cracker. Miss Cracker, shut your fucking mouth. Like, there's no reason why you need to bring that up. She legitimately was tossing and turning all night. Mm-hmm. Like, get a life. If that's what you're legitimately tossing and turning about, then you are a privileged ass bitch. Like, that's not a thing. And, you know, I don't know if it was the pink jacket that gave her this, you know, bitchy power, but she just had an attitude during that day.
Wow, Lauri.
Where I just felt like she was like, my shit doesn't stink. And I can tell people how I'm the best. And she was acting like she had already won the competition. She was teaching everybody else how to do. And this is all stars. This is all people who've been in the competition before. Mm-hmm. It's not like she's coming back and playing with newbies.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, who does she's not, you know, you're not the cream of the crop sort of thing. But so that's my opinion about Miss Cracker. I felt like she should have kept her mouth shut. She even says at the end of the show, she should have kept her mouth shut. I feel like she should have kept her mouth shut. Or if you want to say something, say it in a way that's supportive and not degrading. Because she essentially was just like putting Angina down for her comments. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now to get to Angina's reaction was weird because Angina said those things. Angina said in the first episode, I didn't have confidence in myself. I was in my head. I wasn't feeling confident in my abilities. She said those things. Yeah. So the fact that Miss Cracker is literally just quoting back the words that she said and saying that's not what an all-star should be. And Angina's like, well, who are you to say that you're not Ben de la Creme? Who are you to say that shut your mouth? It's like she's quoting you back to you, Angina. She's saying what you said.
I think she's saying what I'm going to strangely defend Angina. I think what Angina is saying is like, bitch, you can't rewrite the rules. You're not Ben de la Creme who, you know, whited out the lipstick and put her own name in, right? And she says, you're not one of the judges. You were given 2 people in the bottom. Choose between those 2. You don't have the liberty to then just choose a name at random, is what she's saying. Stay in your fucking lane.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing is like, I feel like that's a thing with, which is like, you couldn't have even voted for Angina if you wanted to. Like, it was literally a statement made to make somebody feel bad. That's all it was.
But that's why I'm saying it was producer driven. I feel Cracker may have said this in a confessional, and the producers were like, "You should bring this up to the girls." You know,
maybe, but I feel like Miss Cracker is one of those people who's like, she always feels like she has to show everybody how to do their own jobs. Like she's like, I gotta lead you. You know, like Angina's a drag queen. Angina, I feel like Angina. I love her. I think she's a great drag queen. I don't necessarily feel like she was ready for the competition that the level of competition that this show is now. And I think that, I think Miss Cracker was like, oh, I'm going to help her. I'm going to build up her confidence. And it's like, that's not how you build up somebody's confidence. You know, if you want to build up somebody's confidence, you go, hey, you know, I heard what you said yesterday and I just want you to know you're great. And all that, what she said to her at the end, she should have said to her then. You know, and I think it's kind of a bullshit statement. But to be also fair to Miss Cracker, the things she was saying was what Angina was saying about herself.
No, you're right.
So it's like you can't be mad at somebody for just saying these are the things you said.
But when Cracker is talking about it later and saying she shouldn't have said it, she says, "I don't apologize for what I said." She goes, "What I said was right, but it wasn't the right time to say it. I should have just stayed quiet." Now, you know, one of the things I noticed on the second rewatch, because then I'm watching with eagle eyes, is you know how they all walk into the workroom and they're like, yay, we're back in the workroom, it's the next day, and then they go to wipe the lipstick mirror message off?
Yeah.
Is they all walk in and they all have their own little thing that they do. Well, then they do a different shot from behind the mirror, behind the one-way mirror, showing the girls walk towards the mirror. And in the background in that shot, it's so weird. You can see Shay, she's just coming in the door, and you see her because she's talking to that camera, do like she's doing a whole thing for that camera when she walks in, and you see it in the background. It's so bizarre. You should check it out if you have a chance.
That is weird. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Now, like we just talked about it, is what an odd choice for Cracker to go after Angina. I think it's just so weird. Like, just right there, apropos of nothing, Cracker just like, you know what? Let me just drop this right here. Which Cracker, it reminds me of that meme that goes around everywhere that a lot of people hate, where it says, no one, Cracker, Angina, I wish I would have written your name in.
Yeah.
But also, now, I want to talk about this. Later, when RuPaul has India choose her top two competitors, her two biggest competitors, she chooses Shay, which makes sense. And then she chooses Blair St. Clair. What do you think with the logic behind that?
I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like India legitimately feels like Blair is her competitor.
Why? Because Blair's fishy?
Because I think Blair's fishy, and I think Blair is what India wants to be. Mm-hmm. She's skinny. She's got a good singing voice. She's,
If you had to name if you were in that cast, you had to name your two biggest competitors, who would you name?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, only two?
Only two. Your two biggest competitors.
If I was India?
You're India.
Well, Shay.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I would say Alexis Mateo.
Really?
I mean, I know Jujubee is slated to win, but Alexis Mateo really shined the first episode, and I feel like she killed it the second episode too. So I would say,
but the second episode hasn't happened.
What?
The second at this point,
just basing off the first episode, yeah, I would say Alexis Mateo. Jujubee's. If you go by her performance at the lip sync, it wasn't really. It was good, but it wasn't like amazing. And Alexis Mateo's was. I feel like Alexis should have won that episode.
But I would go with Shay and Jujubee because both of them have gone very far. Jujubee was third in her second season on her first season. Let's reword this. On the first season she appeared, which was season 2, Jujubee was third. Okay. On All Stars 1, which Jujubee appeared on with Alexis Mateo, Jujubee went all the way to the end and she came in third place. Okay. So I'm saying she has a track record of doing really well on this show. People like her. She's done well so far. I'm going Shay and Jujubee.
I mean, I agree with you too. I would just say if I was basing off the first episode, I would say Shay and Jujubee.
All right, very good.
Or Shay and Alexis.
All right, let's move on. For the Maxi Challenge recording, the producer and writer Leland and Freddie Scott from the Season 12 Vegas Challenge are there to record the girls' tracks. Blair lets everyone know she can't sing. Mariah thinks Jason Momoa played Superman, and Angina loses her voice. During the main stage choreography, India delegates choreography to Alexis, but Jujubee criticizes her choices. Shay's group feels confident in Shay's choreography, and Blair and Cracker clash as they fumble with pillows. Lauri, your thoughts on everything recording and rehearsal?
I feel like this was heavily staged because it's like, I legit feel if you put the music up to what they were actually singing, I don't think the timing would work out. I don't think that they're actually singing it on a track. I mean, again, it's the soundproof open stage. Like, how can you record based off of, it just seems very, I don't know. I don't feel like there's any way that they actually recorded on that stage.
Oh, because of the way I don't think so either. I think that there's some sort of like they do it and then they go back and do it later somewhere else for real.
Well, because I mean, Maria Paris, what's her Balenciaga? She thought that Jason Momoa was Superman. Yeah. And then they said, oh, he's Aquaman. And then they go, oh, okay. But then you never see her like correct it. Mm-hmm. And then in the song, she's got a whole different verse about him being Aquaman. Mm-hmm. So I think, plus, and then the rehearsal, I kind of felt like I wish they would have had a choreographer. Like, I wish they would have had somebody come in. Because here's the thing. I felt like they had already had a rehearsal.
I feel that they did have a choreographer because they did their own personal choreography, but then they all have to move around the stage and block all them. I felt there was a choreographer who did like the basics.
Yeah, and I felt bad for Alexis Mateo because I felt like she was kind of thrown under the bus as far as like, oh, you're a good choreographer. Here, you choreograph. And it was like, just like, hey, you do this. So, I thought that was weird. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was a little bit of, you could tell there was some ego coming out. I feel like Miss Cracker, the one thing I will say with all that is that it's like, if Blair was bitching about how she's the leader and Miss Cracker is taking over, and it's like, well, then tell her. Don't wait till you guys are in the makeup chair. Tell her in the moment, hey, I'm the leader. Let's do. I'm leading this group. We're going to do what I say. Yeah, you know. If you don't like it, tough. I'm the leader this round. Yeah. And it's like she waited until they all of them, like they all just murmured under their breath. They didn't. Nobody. It's like these people all of a sudden, like they go from saying, "Hey, I'm going to tell you how I feel to your face," to like, "I can't." She's gonna do something different. You know, it's like, come on, guys. Like she's so bossy. You know, it's like. Nut up.
Well, yeah, what you think is you would think you would confront her and say it because it's going to be good television if you confront her.
It's going to be good television. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like also it's like, you know, I think what we saw, unfortunately, Maria and Angina were in the bottom. But I mean, everybody was talking about how polished they looked during rehearsal. And it's like, yeah, because they all they all realized that it's about the group and not about the individual. You know, you focus on the group and you focus on getting the stuff down. And, you know, and Shay obviously shined because she's phenomenal. But I felt like it was like, no, you didn't hear Angina and Maria going like, ugh, I can't believe Shay's trying to do this.
Who's Maria? Mariah.
Mariah, sorry. Mariah.
Lauri, I have to apologize to you and the audience. I'm looking at this script, and I'm realizing there are giant chunks of the show missing from this script, and I have to take personal responsibility. I didn't triple check this script. I checked it for like typos and stuff. But I just realized right now there's a whole segment in the workroom that's not in here. So I'm going to talk about that in the notes, so be prepared to talk about that. Okay. So right afterwards, they go to the workroom, because I have my own notes right here. You know, these are my personal notes, and I'm realizing they're not reflected in the script. Okay, let's talk about the workroom. You know, there's a whole bunch of shit that happens in the workroom that I want to talk about. First of all, do you know who this Janky is that Alexis is talking about? That's her crush?
Okay, so I know of somebody named Daddy Yankee, but I've only known him as Yankee, and I've only heard his songs like a little bit. Didn't he sing that like Despacito? Wasn't that him?
I'm gonna look at Lauri. So so her accent, she's saying Janky, but
everybody's saying Janky for some reason. But I don't understand why. It's spelled why. I mean, in her accent, fine. But like Jujubee was saying janky. This is Daddy Yankee.
This is yeah. Okay, is there somebody named Janky? Hold on for a second. Well, they show a picture. This is the most popular song on Spotify. Let me look up Janky.
No, it's Daddy Yankee.
Let me look at what Daddy Yankee looks like. Oh yeah, that's who it is. That's the person they show in the picture. That is so. I was like, who the fuck is Janky? And why are they?
Yeah,
Lauri, what is up with that? That is so weird.
I don't know why anybody was like, "Do you mean Daddy Yankee?" Like, maybe that's how he says his name. I've just always thought it was Daddy Yankee.
Oh, do you think he says his name is Daddy Janky?
Maybe.
Look, I'm an old gay. I don't know who the fuck Daddy Yankee is, right? But I wrote, who is that? But I feel like I've heard the name before. But they just expected everyone to know who Janky was, and I was like, who the fuck is Janky?
And they didn't really show a photo till the end, and I was like, can somebody give us a who this guy is.
Yeah. Now, also in the workroom, these are just my notes. I don't have a script for it. I'm sorry. India wants to sing about her fiance. RuPaul literally says in the challenge, give us your celebrity man crush. And she goes,
oh, yeah.
I want to sing about my fiance, RJ.
I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
She's so boring. She's so like, I know people like her, but I thought she was so boring in this episode. She just is like, she's like, I want to sing about my fiance. And then they're like, well, you got to pick a celebrity. She sings about Justin Timberlake.
Well,
it's
because you know what? Did you catch why she was singing about this Justin Timberlake?
Because of Derek Barry.
Yes. And I was like, fucking bitch, are you obsessed with Derek Barry?
She didn't even figure out a way to like stick it to Derek Barry.
She did.
Like, you could write. What did she say?
She says, like something about how she sent Brittany packing.
Oh, see, it was so boring. I didn't even catch it.
Yeah, and I was like,
she was just so. Even her dress was like, okay, like it was. I thought it was nice that it was all different like skin tones, but it was just kind of boring. Like it was boring.
Yeah,
it was just like I was just like, what? Why is she here? I will say,
I was surprised she was announced.
So people don't think I'm a hater.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know a lot of people like to say that I don't like anybody. I will say, as a boy, his fashion sense is what I dreamed to one day have.
Oh, really?
Everything he wore, I was like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that. His hats, his sweater, the cute little overalls with the short sleeve button down shirt. I loved it. So
you want to dress like Mayim Bialik in 1994?
Yes, I do. I want to be Blossom. I want to blossom into a beautiful man with shark teeth. No, I just think in drag he's just so, and it's like, I think here's the thing. I think she thought this would be sweet. People go, oh, she loves her husband. She loves her fiance. And it's like, that's not a part of the song.
Oh, you can't find the one that has, because isn't it Leon Redbone sings the theme to Blossom?
I have no idea.
Yeah, so Leon Redbone was a singer. And they would always get him to sing these he had a very distinct voice, and he would dress like in a white seersucker suit, Here we go. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait. Oh, I thought Leon Redbone sang the theme to Blossom. Oh, no. Sorry, Leon Redbone sang the theme to Mr. Belvedere. Forget Leon Redbone. Here's the Blossom one.
Don't know about the future. That's anybody's game.
This is what you want to dress like? I'm looking at the video right now.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on for a second. I'm going to share it on the Crowdcast. The video. Hold on. This is how you want to dress, Lauri. Is what I'm saying. I'm going to start this all over again. Here we go. For those of you listening to audio, just listen to the theme. This is a 90s TV show with Mayim Bialik, who, if you're younger, you might know her as, who's the gay one's girlfriend in, what's the name of that show? The Nerds? Big Bang Theory.
Kelly Kyoko?
No, but Blossom's in Big Bang Theory. She plays the gay one's
Mayim Bialik?
Yeah.
I forgot the guy's name.
Okay, here we go. Okay, that's like a 9. Oh my god, this is so 90s. This is Lauri. This is you. This is how you see yourself?
Yep.
Am I Joey Lawrence?
Whoa. Yeah.
God, Joey Lawrence was so 90s hot.
He was.
Oh my god. And that's Taylor right there in the purple suit.
Stop all your fuss.
Oh, remember there was Jenna Van Noy. She played Six. Blossom had a friend named Six. Oh, they did that. Oh my god. This is the 90s in like a theme song. And this is how you want to dress, Lauri.
Yep.
The sun is gonna surely shine.
Oh my god, Lauri. Okay.
I had that hat for the longest time. I had that little hat with the flower on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jim Parsons.
Jim Parsons, thank you. Okay. Lauri.
So I just thought it was boring. I was like, I thought Blair did a fun thing and said, Hannibal Lecter. I wish more people would have been funny with it. You know, I feel like too many people were like, oh, I really want to have sex. I really want to fuck John Stamos. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, let's fill my house. Yeah, some of them were trying to be funny, though. Okay, a note that I made in the workroom, but I think it's throughout the whole episode, to go with the cracker bashing, is she plays to the camera a lot. Especially in the workroom and the confessionals, where, like, you know,
yes.
I clocked it when she was like, Shakespeare in love, you know, so she's saying about Shakespeare in love, but it just felt like she's still very aware the camera's on and she's playing. She's trying to get she wants to have her quotes and her thing on there. And
I also think it was the jacket.
Oh, wait.
She was using that jacket a lot.
Wait, we have breaking news here all of a sudden. Breaking news. We're going to have to break in here for this here. Hold on, let me go to the rumor mill. Where's the breaking news? All right, breaking news. We have we're gonna have to do an interruption in the segment here because we have here we go. Right here we have to. Okay, so let me introduce a segment right now, Lauri. We're gonna jump. We're doing a strange thing. We're gonna jump. We have limited time with this person. I want to talk about Elimination Day. Okay, I know we're jumping here, but that's okay. We can talk about Elimination Day right now. On Elimination Day, Cracker has this moment where she talks about how people don't like her and she can't keep friends and whatnot. You and I talked about it a little bit during the first response. And I was saying that I actually relate to Ms. Cracker because I feel a lot of my friends ghost me or stay my friend for a little bit and then all of a sudden decide they don't want to be my friend anymore, right? And what was your reasoning, Lauri, for telling me that why people don't want to be my friend?
Because you're a horrible person. No, I think it happens. I think it happens more than people say. I think everybody has that. I think everybody feels like people ghost them. I think friendships just run their course. You know. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're best friends. You know, and we're closer than we've ever been.
Nope.
But you know, there was a time where we didn't really talk all that much, and it wasn't because we hated each other. It was just because we both were doing different things. Uh-huh. So, you know, I think friendships come and go. As far as though, I think the problem that I have with Miss Cracker in this one is that people are literally telling her, you have a big ego.
Yeah.
You are doing too much. You're too much. You're, you know, you're taking up too much room, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I don't know why people aren't saying they don't like me. Yeah. Like, it's like, they're literally telling you.
Well, we have here special guest, mental health professional, Taylor the Latte Boy. He's going to weigh in on. He can weigh in as a mental health professional. He can weigh in as a friend. He's trying to get his audio
he said
together.
Hold on.
I know, he said hold on. So you know what? While he's getting his shit together, Lauri, let me just to finish my thought. Here's a funny thing here is in the workroom, just to finish my thoughts in the workroom. Shay at one point tells... Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Shay, really quickly before you bring you on, Taylor. Shay at one point tells Angina that she wants Angina to be there and that she deserves to be there. I'm like, you're not going to think that later. Why don't we do this, Taylor? Why don't we do this? We have you here. We're going to do this here in any way. Why don't we take a break, and when we come back, we're going to jump into the Elimination Day, and we will talk to Taylor about why people aren't my friend. All right, we'll be back right after this.
This is Amy Poehler. My new movie, Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2, is coming to theaters June 14th, and it's making me feel joy and sadness and anger, definitely some disgust, and I think a little fear. But I'm also feeling these new emotions like anxiety, embarrassment, envy, and ennui.
It's what you call the boredom.
Okay, that one was weird. It's going to be the feel everything movie of the summer. Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Only in theaters June 14th. Get tickets now.
All right, so we are back. We have Taylor the Latte Boy here. Couldn't stay away for more than one episode. Taylor, did you watch the episode already?
Yes, we watched it actually really late last night.
Oh, yeah, really? Oh. Did you guys make love before or after the show?
If by making love you mean eating birthday cake, then yes, we made love before we watched Drag Race.
Look, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, is it your birthday?
No, it was a friend of ours' birthday.
Lauri's trying to drop a hint here. Why, Lauri?
It's my birthday today.
Today's
Oh
Lauri's
my God!
birthday.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Oh, then I had birthday cake for you.
Ah, thank you. That's good.
It didn't have your name on it, and you weren't there. But
That's
I totally
fine.
had birthday cake for you.
Look,
That's what my parents are doing right now.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're having birthday cake in my honor. Which I'm like, why are you having it?
Wait,
why
why
aren't I having it?
Will there be
Are
any?
they really having cake in the other room?
No, my aunts are in the other room. My parents are in their house.
I think her aunts are having a shouting contest in the next room. Lauri,
My aunts are like talk shouting to because my brother's on the phone and they have to call so they have to talk shout to everybody. So.
what will be the recognition of your birthday today?
What do you mean? Sorry.
It's your birthday today. How are you gonna? How will it be recognized?
Oh, how will it be recognized? Oh, I'm gonna watch Murder, She Wrote with my girlfriend because she has to watch what I want for my birthday. So,
by the way,
only on your birthday or all the time?
Only on my birthday. I end up usually having to watch like The Challenge and whatever beach-based romantic competition reality show she loves to watch. So
you only get to watch shows about older blondish women one day a year.
No, I watch it all the time on my own, but I mean, I don't get to watch anything I want with her. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you decide that you need a Sharon Gless film festival, you're on your own for that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If I need to get some burn notice in, I'll just I'll just start doing it while I'll run to the bathroom and just start watching it on my phone.
Yeah.
Just go on and Google Loretta Swit now and just totally go to Pound Town on yourself. Yeah. I ordered season 1 of Cagney and Lacey just to have for good keeping.
Well, Lauri masturbates to Queer as Folk, but it's none of the guys. To the weird, wasn't Sharon Gless the weird friend on Queer as Folk?
The mom.
Did I ever tell you? Okay.
Yeah.
This affected me to my core, and I had to stop watching Queer as Folk. I don't know why. So I told my aunt about it, the one that I live with, and she got into it. She really liked it, and my aunt and I have this relationship where, when I wasn't living with her, she would describe to me episodes of shows. Mm-hmm. So she would describe I watched this episode. This is what happened. Okay, so she described in detail. Episode of Queer as Folk, and it freaked me out so much that I was like, I can never watch this show. Just my aunt describing lesbian sex to me was the worst thing that I've ever heard.
Do an impression.
In my entire life.
Do an impression. I want to hear it.
Okay. She goes, all right. So, okay. So the lady, I don't know why I'm making Minnesotan. So the lady comes home. And they're separated, and she's fighting, and she went on a date with a girl, and the woman's like, "Oh, you're home late," and she's like, "Yeah, I'm home when I want to be home," and so then they start fighting, they start slapping each other, and then the skinny girl, the butchy one, she drags the long haired one to the table and gets on top of her, and they start slap fighting again, and then they start kissing. And then she takes her the butchy one takes her hand and shoves it in the girly girls one's pants, and they start having sex. And nobody knows where the kids are. I mean, they said in the beginning that they were worried about the kids, but nobody knows where the kids are at this point. So I mean, I guess they don't care about the kids enough to have sex in the middle of the table. And and then I forgot to tell you that the girly one, the one with the blonde hair. The one who had sex with that man, she cooked a meal for the family, and then they just threw everything on the table. So there's going to be a lot of cleanup afterwards. So yeah, it was kind of unnecessary. And then the main gay one, he was at his ad agency, and he was interviewing a guy for a job. And the guy was like, "Oh, I think I'm really qualified, and I got a lot of good points about me, and blah blah." And the guy was he kept pointing to his penis, he was saying he wasn't saying he's good for the job. He's saying I'm good for gay sex. So then they started having oral sex.
Okay, Lauri. Okay, we get it.
I have a question.
Yeah,
which is more disturbing for Lauri? Her aunt explaining sex scenes from episodes of Queer as Folk, or her dad teaching her and her brother how to kiss?
Oh, good question.
Okay, he didn't teach me how to kiss. All right. My grandma taught me how to kiss, okay?
By the way, if you love the chemistry...
Teach me. We did a peck on the cheek. Or peck on the lips.
If you love the chemistry that Lauri and Taylor and I have, you're welcome to hear it every week on Fat Camp at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia, a special tier where Lauri and I and Taylor try and lose weight. So Taylor, here. Oh, you know what? Just to put a button here. This Afterthought Media's Jay Ellis texted me today. And he goes, I'm not even joking. I will show you the fucking text. He goes, I just watched the pilot episode of Golden Girls. This show is very bingeable.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Oh, my God.
Child. He's a child.
What a skinny bitch.
Yeah.
Thank you. Skinny bitch.
Yeah, that's his new name. Skinny bitch. Jay Ellis.
Skinny bitch.
Okay.
Skinny bitch and bon vivant.
So, Taylor, we
Ellis.
welcomed you on for this segment. You're welcome to stay as long as you want. But the segment we brought you on specifically for... Please stay. Lauri's horrible. The segment we brought you on... Oh, there she is. Cleopatra in the flesh. Whenever
While
Lauri...
you guys are talking, I'm just going to take a nap.
Lauri lays in the bed, like, at the Haunted Mansion... At Disneyland, I imagine Disney World, there's a painting that changes of like a woman lounging on like one of those, I don't know what you call those sofas, but like those like
a fainting couch.
Like a fainting couch. And then her face turns into a cat when you walk by. That's the way, that's the position.
We have that here.
Yeah. That's the position Lauri is in right now. Is that just
I know she's full on like arm under the pillow.
Yeah, arm under the pillow.
I have both my arms up, by the way.
She's ready to take a CPC nappy nap. It's been a very tough morning.
Hey, I've been having to listen to Joe bitch about his outline for the past hour and a half.
14 weeks in a row. I feel your pain.
Now I understand why you're so hesitant to do more podcasts.
One season a year. What is your question?
Well, maybe I have the answer now. So there's a moment during the Elimination Day where Ms. Cracker is talking about how people that she doesn't understand why she's called difficult, that she doesn't see herself as difficult, but that she has trouble making friends, and when she does, most of them just leave her. Now, look, on the part, and we can talk about that right now, but we'll come back to it. On the part where she is like, hey, listen, I don't understand. I don't know. I can't make friends because they leave me. I totally relate to her. I feel a lot of my friends eventually get to a place where they ghost me. They don't want to be my friend anymore. But it's not even like we don't want to be my friend anymore. It's they need to ghost me. And I wanted you, huh?
You don't say.
Yeah, you don't say. Right. And so I asked Lauri, why do you think people do that? On this one, Just Between Us Girls. And Lauri was like, I think because you're too nice. And I was like, Taylor will give
I
me.
did not say that at all. First off, nobody in the world ever believes you're too nice. So don't, just FYI.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I love how, I don't know why, but I just feel like I'm giving advice while laying like this. It makes me look like a crazy person.
Oh, that's not what makes you look like a crazy person.
Yeah.
I think it happens more than people say. I think everybody struggles with that. I was thinking about this the other day, and that's why I came to that conclusion. So I don't know if it's just me rationalizing why I don't have a lot of friendships.
Yeah, true.
But I think that I honestly think that people, like, friendships don't last as long as people make it seem. I think you have like maybe one or two friendships that last a while, but most times friendships, people just kind of come in and out of your life. That's what happens. So yeah, I don't think it's anything you're doing or they're doing. I think it's just what happens in life.
Taylor?
Well, I guess what is the question that you have?
Why is Joe unlovable?
Yeah.
Is that really the question?
No, the question is, why do all my friends abandon me?
Well, okay, but I think you are looking at it as abandonment, whereas it might be where people just move on, kind of what Lauri said, but you are taking it much more personally in that you like things about a particular person and you are not seeing changes or development in either yourself or the other person, and then you guys develop away from each other, but you're still looking at it as, but we've always liked each other, we've always done things together, we've always had a way to communicate. So it might not be you're looking at it as abandonment, whereas it might just be people have moved on. Those are two different things.
Well, I know, but I think it is abandonment. Like, look, Richard doesn't talk to me. My cousin.
Yeah, I know. He's a week younger than you, and he's gay.
Yes. Remember my old former ward of the show, Jose, no longer talks to me.
But see,
Daniel Brewer stopped talking to me.
Well, Daniel Brewer stopped talking to a lot of people, so.
Babalu stopped talking to me.
Did Babalu stop talking to you?
Well, he never talked to me, so but
he was going to say he never started talking to you.
He just doesn't like you.
I could come up with an entire list of people who just were like they pieced out. They stopped talking to me.
Okay,
so
wait. If I could just have a moment.
Yeah.
Some of these people, though, one of the people that you just listed in particular, from the sounds of it, that had nothing to do with you. Richard not talking to you, from the way that you've described to me, had nothing to do with you. Richard just went cuckoo crazy bird and stopped talking to everyone.
True.
But you are taking on the responsibility of, I have to be the person who keeps juggling all of these relationships, who has to keep things going and keep things going and keep things going. And there's no symbiotic's not the right word. There's no back and forth for it. But as the more that you become invested in it, the more it hurts when they walk away, versus where you have relationships with people that they just kind of separate, but because you're not as invested in it, it doesn't hurt as much.
Okay, so then what do you think? Then taking that, what do you say about Cracker and what she said on her confessional?
I think Cracker's in a little bit of a state of denial.
Yeah,
I think the Cracker, Cracker, as she's talking about it, she's pretty much describing someone who is difficult. Yeah. But she just doesn't like the word difficult, because when you have people, because I kind of remember somebody saying, either on that episode or on Untucked, girl, it's not just one person telling you you're difficult. You've had multiple people that have told you you're difficult to work with. So at some point it gets to the point of where, if people in my world that have nothing to do with each other are all saying the same thing about me, then chances are there's a chance that's true. And it involves some reflection and looking at things. If you're talking about, going back to Joe, if you're talking about possibly you have Richard and you have Jose and you have other people in your life who are, you build these really strong connections with, some of which very, very quickly, and then they decide that they're not going to do it, they're not going to stay in the relationship, then that might be where you have to go through and look at that and go, okay, what role did I play and what role did I not play in all of this? Yeah. And figure out, because like I said, Richard kind of just went off on his own. Yeah. And you've talked with multiple other family members. Yeah. Some of which have been on this show. I've been on this network that have talked about that Richard doesn't talk to anybody anymore. Yeah. So it's not your responsibility to keep all of these balls in the air.
Yeah. I agree. Also, to piggyback off what you were saying, Taylor, I think Cracker's problem and your problem are two completely different things, because Cracker is having people tell her to her face, you have a big ego, you are difficult, and she literally says, "Oh, I don't agree with that. That's bullshit." Mm-hmm. And then in her confessional goes on to say, "I don't know why people keep saying I'm difficult. I don't know why it's hard for me to get friends." It's like, bitch, you know why? You are literally being given the answer. It's like people are saying A plus B equals 4, and she's like, I don't know what that could be. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, it's like just do the work. She's just not willing to change.
It's a tough pill to swallow sometimes when you have to hear things about yourself. But also with maturity, you get to a point of where you really look inside and say, you know what, there may be part of this that's right. So is there behavior that I am willing to change in my life that will help me to lead the type of life that I want to lead?
Am I difficult to work with, Lauri?
No, you're particular, but I think that's good though. I think that comes with running a entire network and being, having so many balls to juggle in the air. You know,
By the way,
I think
I like how Lauri thinks I'm particular because I say show up on time. Am I particular, Taylor?
Particular is a. There are times you're difficult to work with. Not all the time. Not all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I would say 5 to 10% of the time you're a pain in the ass. But for the most part, I enjoy.
Hey, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
Honestly, do you know when you were difficult to work with?
Sure, go ahead.
Yesterday.
Last year.
Last year with all of the back with the series and stuff like that, and you got to be very where you had expectations for yourself, and I feel like some of us that are either still with the network or have since gone on, I think you kind of saw it as you're talking like the rumor mill guys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That there were times that I think you expected us to be readily available. You know, there were times that you kind of said, so I'm going to go on the air and I just need you to be on like it. And I'm like, girl, I worked all day. I'm not,
I don't do that anymore.
No. And you don't do that anymore, which is why I got a text message. But I also, I was more willing to come on because you weren't like that through season 12 and you were more enjoyable to work with.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is a whole just between us girls or fat camp topic. Now, Taylor, thank you for being here. You're welcome to stay as we talk about Elimination Day and blah, 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 blah. You don't have to.
I appreciate that. However, we are actually getting ready to go. Babalu just bought some AirPods, so we are going to go pick them up curbside at Best Buy, and I have to return something at Kohl's. So,
what are you returning at Kohl's?
The first set of Bluetooth earbuds that I hated so much within 5 minutes that I bought AirPods myself on Amazon.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go take them back.
You know what's so funny is, remember, Taylor, I was telling you when you were looking at this, I'm going to show you them. I said, well, there's this Anchor makes really good cheap brand earbuds. I did buy them. They're like $50. And I'm going to tell you something. There's not a commercial because it's not good. They're actually really good earbuds for $50. For $50, they're amazing. But the earbuds I had before were amazing. Okay, they were the Bose SoundSport Free Wireless.
Yeah.
And the sound just isn't as good. They're not bad. They work. They're completely functional. They're decent. I would say for a $50 wireless earbud, they're fantastic. Mm-hmm. But Lauri, do you want wireless earbuds?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
I was going to give them to you. I think I might buy better headphones. I might keep these as an emergency. You know, whenever you're like, oh my God, I need something right now. Yeah. I might keep those for that.
I have actual wired earbuds that I keep in my bag if for some reason these don't go.
All right.
Taylor, I don't know if you know this, but if you
Taylor
go
has
to
to go,
Kohl's,
right, Lauri?
If you go to Kohl's and there's not enough, like there's too many people in line, you can actually just take whatever you want and leave. So I don't know if you know. I'm
not buying anything though. I just was so should I just like walk in if there's nobody? I should just like throw the box in the air that of the stuff I'm returning and then just walk out.
No,
I say take cash out of the cash register.
No,
then leave.
Well, first of all, let's tell everybody who's listening what's going on. Lauri went to Kohl's less than a year ago, bought all kinds of shit in her basket, and then went and stood in line, and then they were taking too long, so she just walked out with the basket and took it because she was like,
I had one thing. I know. I was returning something, and I asked if I could buy something in the return line, and they said yes. So I had to wait in the return line, and then they said I couldn't buy it in the return line. I had to go to a different line, and then I waited in that line, and then the lady in that line said she was going on break, so then everybody had to move over to another line. So then I said, you know what? I'm just leaving.
Yeah, I agree with that part, but I would have just left the basket there in the store. I would have just walked out.
Hey, I gave them 3 opportunities to let me pay for something.
All right, Taylor has to go, Lauri. No. Taylor has to go.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, Taylor.
Taylor, thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Goodbye.
You notice how I didn't ask him what he thought of me working with me because I don't want to know.
Holy shit, Lauri, what's going on?
I think my girlfriend's here.
Okay, well, let's finish this show then. All right, so we talked about Elimination Day. You know, I have some things to talk about with the recording. They're very, very minor things when they actually recorded the show. I want to talk about Leland, okay? I want to talk about Leland.
Who's Leland?
He was the guy that was running the recording session.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
First of all, everyone should know, you may or may not know this, they actually filmed All Stars 5 before they filmed season 12. So when we see him in season 12, that's actually his second appearance. Okay?
Okay.
This is actually his first appearance. All right?
Okay.
So, first of all, what I want to talk about is his bleached hair and how horrible.
Yes.
That was awful. It looked awful. Like, when has bleached hair looked good on anybody since 1998?
I know. I literally saw that and I thought, oh, he's going through a midlife crisis.
And I was like, and I was just waiting to see a puka shell necklace. Next, his outfit. What was going on? Okay. Also, I was willing to give her the benefit of the doubt in episode 1 because, she's nervous. It's a weird situation, whatever. This Blair St. Clair, how does she want to be a singer? She's a horrible singer.
I thought she had an okay voice.
What?
I thought she had an okay voice. I didn't think it was that bad.
Anyway, those were the things I had there. All right. Did you want to take a pause and talk to your girlfriend for a second?
No, we can go through.
All right. So we talked about Elimination Day. All right. So now let's just talk about the main stage show here. Now before we say anything, I clocked it. This is the set from the Vegas show in season 12, right? This is the same set.
It looks like it.
It looked a lot.
It looks exactly like it.
I really don't have a lot of notes. I thought they were all pretty good. We've already talked a lot. We talked about how India was obsessed with Derek, but with her Britney lyrics. Other than that, I mean, do you have any real notes on the main stage show?
The one thing I will say, and this is because I didn't see Shea Coulee's season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I thought the first episode, I didn't think she really was present a lot in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
And in this episode, I started liking her. I was like, oh, she seems like she's pretty cool. I like her. She seems like she's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the show started and she got into performance mode, I was like, oh my fucking God, this is a superstar.
Yeah.
I literally was like, immediately as soon as I saw her just walk when she did that strut with the Angina and Mariah, I was like, she's going to win. Mm-hmm. She's winning the whole goddamn thing. Mm-hmm. She was so freaking good.
But that's why people were pressed in season 9 when Sasha pulled the wig reveal, because people were just like, it was so clear in season 9 that Shea won the most challenges. She was that bitch on that episode, on that season. And so when that happened, it was just gag worthy for what happened with Sasha, who some would have argued shouldn't have even been in the top 4. All of a sudden just took down not only her friend, but also the person who was there. That's who you were going to beat.
Yeah.
And so that was very, very, very crazy. The main stage show, I thought it was a cute song. I thought the girls I think the girls did a cute job. I think we were talking about before Taylor got here, there probably was a choreographer. They've done that in the past, even in season 12, where... And they usually schedule the shows like this. I'm not saying this happened this time, but the girl, the crew needs to have a weekend. Okay?
Yeah.
So the girls are doing nothing for the weekend. So what they often do is try to schedule those big dance numbers so that they can split the episode. And then during the weekend, the girls can rehearse without a camera, with a choreographer or some sort of coach. And they can, so when they come back on that Monday to film, they've practiced it. Does that make sense? And I have a sense that probably would have happened on this episode.
Yeah, it feels like it. I also feel like, there's no way that they recorded it on that open stage.
That was just basically a rehearsal. The mic wasn't hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. And then during so then we know what. Oh, I think I have a script right here. Believe it or not. Okay. Here we go. The looks. The category is love the skin you're in. I'll be honest with you. I didn't understand what this category meant because it didn't seem like the girl. What was it? I don't understand what the girls were supposed to wear or anything.
I was like, were they supposed to go naked? Like it just, but then they all came out wearing just essentially their skin tone, except for Blair St. Clair.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. All right, so your skin tone. I thought I'll be honest with you. I thought all the girls looked great. I'd have to look at the looks again. But was there anybody that looked a mess or anything? I don't like talking about the looks on this show.
I think Blair St. Clair got a lot of heat. I liked hers. Mm-hmm. I love Shea Coulee's. I thought Shea Coulee's was probably my favorite.
You're right.
Mayhem Miller's, I kind of felt was maybe in the bottom, but it was still a pretty cute dress. I mean, I just think that she had like kind of a tailored dress, and then it had those like diamond things kind of coming. And I think it would have looked better if it was just like a skin tight outfit with the diamonds instead of that tailored dress. But that's just a nitpicky thing. To be honest with you, I would say aside from Shea Coulee and maybe Blair St. Clair, most of them were good, but boring. Like, I didn't necessarily feel like any of them were like, even Alexis Mateo, who I thought looked stunning, I just was like, it's not that great. Angina had kind of a similar thing to what she had when she came in. You know, it was just more of a eleganza kind of look, and so, but it's like it was just one tone. So I don't know. I just felt like. But Shea Coulee's looked amazing. No,
I completely agree with you. I think everybody looked fine, but you're right. In a field of giants, so to speak, Shea and Blair stood out. Shay's particular, she walked out and you're like, oh, that's fucking gorgeous. Even RuPaul gasped. Was like, ooh, you know. Okay, let's just talk about this right here. Let's go about the main stage. Alexis Mateo, Ms. Cracker, and Mayhem Miller were deemed safe. Blair and Jujubee were on top, but it's Shea Coulee who walked away as this week's top all-star. I think deservedly so. This left Angina, Mariah, and India in the bottom three, and they were left to plead their cases to the jury and Shea. Backstage, Shea is shook that the rest of her team is in the bottom. Angina breaks down in tears and says that the other two don't deserve to go home. Finally, the queens choose their elimination lipsticks. Back on the main stage, RuPaul reveals this week's lip sync assassin, fan favorite Alyssa Edwards. The song Neutron Dance by the Pointer Sisters. And the winner, after a lip sync that we'll talk about, was Shea Coulee. Shea Coulee pulls the lipstick from her lipstick. Why do I keep saying lipstick? Lipstick from her bra and reveals that the queen she chose to go home is Angina. Lauri Roggenkamp, any final thoughts on the episode? Talk about the backstage drama with trying to plead their cases. Tell me about the lip sync, what you thought about that. But also I want to hear about your thoughts about guest judge Madison Beer. Give it all to me, Lauri.
I think it should be called lip stink because it's, you're kicking somebody off the show.
Yeah.
So, Madison Beer was boring. I mean, she was boring when she was in Celebrity Drag Race. She was boring here. I think it was Tessa Thompson, right? I love her. I've seen her in a couple of different things and she's great. I thought she was very, she had a lot of good points. I thought she was great. I loved her.
Sure.
I hope she comes back and hopefully does like Celebrity Drag Race or something.
Okay.
As far as the judging, I felt like Alexis Mateo should have been in the top. I don't necessarily I don't know. I just felt like she did a great job. So I kind of was a little bummed that Alexis Mateo wasn't in the top.
Okay.
But other than that, I agreed with what the judges said. And then as far as Angina's thing going, I like Angina. I'm sad to see her go. But as soon as she said that, I said, you just wrote your ticket home.
Yes.
You wrote your ticket home. And you know what? And to be honest with you, it really upset me. Like, I still like her, and I would even go see her, a show of hers. I still think she's a very sweet, amazing drag queen, but you don't pull that kind of crap and not go. Like, if she legitimately thought that she should be going home, she would have just said, I quit.
Yeah.
I'm leaving the show.
Yeah.
Instead, she said, vote for me, because she wanted it was a plea. She wanted the sympathy thing. She wanted people to go, no, you're great. We're not going to vote you off, blah, blah. But it always backfires. Yeah. It never works out. And so I think that I was so pissed off that she did that, because I thought, to be honest with you, everything was going towards India or Mariah being the one sent home. I think the fact that Angina was sick at that time or had lost her voice was saving her, because I think they recognized that, she was trying her best. She just wasn't able to sing. If she hadn't have said that stuff, I think she would have seriously stayed.
Yeah.
So it really upset me.
Here's the thing. is, you can't go in the deliberations and say, this is not me giving up.
Yeah.
I'm giving up.
I want to fight. I want to stay here. I can't tell you how much I want to stay here, but send me home.
Yeah. Next, this Madison Beer can go fuck herself. If you listen to the rumor mill, you know that there was a whole story about her allegedly setting up like a photo shoot during the BLM protests in Los Angeles. And as we heard from, was it Chanel from season 1 who did the makeup for Celebrity Drag Race, said, quote, on Twitter that Madison Beer was a nightmare, a fucking nightmare, actually, and would never work with her again. What a horrible human being. She looks like a horrible human being, and I hope anything horrible that happens to her. And
I just wish they would have spent more time on what Tessa thought. I thought she was a great judge.
Yeah.
And I was screaming at my television with my aunt. I was like, who gives a shit what she thinks?
Well, yeah, there's a part where Madison Beer tells Belair, I'm obsessed with you. Why?
Who cares?
Yeah, you saw her one time. Oh, because she's skinny and white. That's why. If I was
Blair St. Clair, I'd have been like, and you are?
Yeah, well, no. I would have been, you fucking cunt. Get the fuck out of my face, you bitch. You're. I know this hasn't happened yet. It's gonna happen in a year, but I have a feeling you're the type of person during a Black Lives Matter protest will stage a photo shoot in the middle of the protest. Get out of here, you virtue signaling bitch. Get out of here. I don't want to see your face. And then RuPaul kicks her.
I think I'm experiencing what it's like to witness my tantrums when I go off on tangents. So you need to calm down, buddy.
Until you stop talking to me. Let's talk about this lip sync for your life. Alyssa Edwards, I've said this before, if there's a Mount Rushmore of Drag Race competitors, it's going to be Alyssa Edwards as one of the faces on that mountain. And she came out as a lip sync assassin. She doesn't have necessarily the best track record for lip syncing, even though she does do some great lip syncing. That's why I was calling it lip sync. Lip sync. Lipstick. Oh. There we go. We solved the mystery.
There we go.
Here's what I think, and I've seen this conspiracy theory online, and I agree with it. That Alyssa Edwards did better than we thought she did. But that they wanted you understand something? The producers know.
I see what you're saying. That they edited. Yeah, that was being talked about.
There were a ton of cutaways to RuPaul or to talking head moments. Anytime that something was going to happen, they cut away to somebody, and so like, were there any shablams? Maybe we didn't see it. And I think they intentionally hid that because the producers wanted to give it to Shay. Who knows why? There's a million reasons why. Maybe they just wanted to give it to Shay. I think also maybe who knows what was on Alyssa's lipstick. Maybe it was not the person they wanted to go home. So the person who they wanted to go home had to win the lipstick, and they needed to cut it in a way that made it look, because even the way they cut it, it looked like a tie at best.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like every single time they cut to, and maybe you're right, maybe this is editing, but every single time they cut to the dancing, Shea Coulee was like taking up the stage, doing all this great stuff, and Alyssa Edwards was like waving her arms around. Like I didn't really feel like she was doing anything too crazy. I feel like Shea Coulee was definitely bringing it. So I don't know, but again, that could have been editing.
Yeah, very good.
I was also a little frustrated that she didn't lose her jacket like right away. She kept it for like not the whole thing, but
for
she
who?
kept it for like
Shay or Alyssa.
Alyssa had that jacket on that was like over her shoulder, and she kept it for like 30 seconds, a minute into the song, and it was like, lose the jacket. Like she finally kicks it off, but it's like, you should have just thrown that jacket as soon as you started.
All right, Lauri, any final thoughts on the episode? We covered everything you have to say about this episode. I think the episode overall was fine. Pretty good, very entertaining. I was very entertained. I was never bored at any moments. All-Stars are rarely boring. All-Stars.
The only time I was bored was when India was singing. That was it.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I am anxious. I'm anxious for to see what happens. I have a pit in my stomach that something's going to happen and Jujubee or Shay is going to be sent home. And I'm like, that's a pit in my stomach that I don't know, what to do. And also I'm just sad that Angina just didn't put up a big enough fight for herself. So.
Oh, by the way, there was a question in the chat room, and I think it's a good question that we should. Why don't we close with this? Actually, is who would be your celebrity crush? Since you're a lesbian, we will let you do a woman crush. But who's your celebrity female crush? Who would you have sung about?
We talked about that yesterday too. It's tough because are you saying when I was a kid or right now?
Right now. If you had to do this challenge, who would you choose?
Oh, that's tough. I would say. Oh shoot! What's her name?
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of her name.
What do you mean you can't think of her name?
I'm trying to think of the balls. Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock. So that's who you would do when you're in your song. You would do Sandra Bullock. I think right now, and I don't know why I'm going for this person.
If I'm being serious though, but if I'm being funny, I would pick like the Queen or.
Okay. No, I want you to be serious. I want you to be serious.
Judi Dench.
No, I want you to be serious. Okay.
Okay.
I think if I were to be serious right now, I would say my man crush is James Mars. No, Adam Driver. Adam Driver. Oh, fucking.
You know what? I'm going to change mine. I'm going to change mine to Charlize Theron.
Okay. All right. So
I feel like she's always been. I just for some reason recently have just been really getting into Sandra Bullock movies. Mm-hmm. So, but Charlize Theron's always my backup.
All right.
She's always the one that I would.
So here we go, Lauri. We want you to do it right here.
Oh, God.
Sing your lesbian love theme to Charlize Theron. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
You go first.
I love seeing Adam Driver nude. He is straight, so that might be rude. I love it when he takes off his shirt. I want to throw him down and fuck him in the dirt. People say he's ugly. They don't know why I think he's hot. But they are all stupid fuckers. He's wrong in all the right ways. Yeah, I want to fuck him 'cause I am gay. Fuck him, yeah, 'cause I am gay.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to fuck him. I wanna fuck him, yeah. I know this song for lesbians, but I'll sing it anyway on the disco round. Oh yeah. Oh, this song for lesbians. It's their anthem on the disco round. Oh yeah. Lauri, go ahead.
I like Charlize Theron. She didn't shower for 40 days to be in that lesbian movie. You know, the one where she is groovy and she has sex with a woman. And I'm not great with rhyming.
Hey, well, admit it. I want you to admit it, Lauri. Anthem, this is for lesbians. They all sing it. They all sing it, yeah. Well, when they're munching carpet, I love the lesbos. They love to boogie to this song all night. Oh, I love the lesbos. They love to sing this on the disco round. All right.
We don't sing this song.
This is an instrumental song. This is an instrumental part right here. Anyway, all right. Anyway, that's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. This episode was, I think, produced by Luke Stamen, not by the script I saw. Be sure to join us next week and every week as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star 5. So, for Lauri Roggenkamp and myself,
sashay away until next week.
Thank you for listening to RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Have something to say? Email us at dragracerecap@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Drag Race Recap. For more Drag Race and LGBTQ content, support us over on Patreon at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. You can follow Lauri Roggenkamp on Twitter at PickleMyth. She also has other podcasts like The Bloody Podcast and Lauri and Colin Have an Episode. They're available wherever you get your podcasts. You can also support Lauri on Patreon at patreon.com/bloodypodcast. Follow Joe Betance on Instagram at Joe Betance. This episode was produced by Luke Stamen. Kinda. Drag Race Recap is an Afterthought Media podcast.